following is a presentation brought to you by Homestead High School Media.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. The Spartans are state champions. It's over. The Spartans are state champions for the first time in school history. Curry trying to get inside. Nothing there. Step back, open three. It's gone. Todd Curry knocks it down. Spartans win. Spartans win. The clock hits 0. The Spartans are state champions. They avenged the loss from 2 years ago, and they'll take home a state championship.
Homestead will win the victory bell for the first time in school history.
And now it's time for the action of Homestead High School Athletics.
Live from Homestead High School, tonight features a non-conference matchup between the Northfield Norsemen and the Homestead Spartans. It's high school girls basketball from Spartan Arena. Hello everyone, I'm Ashton Ackman alongside Donnie Harmon. We're just about 15 minutes away from tip-off of tonight's game, and let's begin with the pregame show. And Donnie, this team is coming off 2 wins last week. First up, a doubleheader on Friday against Southside, then 1A Lawrence North on Saturday. And most people thought it would be a split, especially with the quick turnaround, but they came out with both wins, and I think that says a lot about this team.
And you couldn't ask for more from the ladies Spartans over the weekend. On Friday against a very tough Southside team, Homestead was the clear favorite in that game, always the clear favorite in conference play. But if Homestead's ever going to lose a regular season game to an SAC opponent, you can bank on it being the Southside Lady Archers. That program, they have a dedicated fan base. They're a dedicated team, and we saw in the first quarter, they really pushed Homestead. The Lady Spartans able to pull away, had a great second half, able to hold on for the win. Balanced attack, Riley Parker, Ayanna Patterson, Sydney Graber, all huge for the Spartans in that game. And with just their second straight win against Southside, the margin between those teams, maybe not as big as some people think. That Southside team going to be dangerous in sectionals, the one team that can really stop Homestead from getting to regionals. But once again, Homestead, they did what they had to do out there. They got the win over Southside. And then Saturday, playing the #1 team in the state, Lawrence North, a team that plays in the best conference in the state, has knocked off countless elite opponents. And it looked very convincing so far this year. They're very talented, but they're not very tall, and Homestead was able to exploit that, especially on the defensive end, when you have people like Ayanna Patterson, Sydney Graber, and Amber Austin down low for your team. It's going to be tough for other teams to get inside, and we saw that against Lawrence North. The #1 team held to 30 points and 0 free throw attempts. You see that, you might think it was questionable reffing, but when you actually watch the game, Lawrence North, they struggled to get the ball inside on Homestead. They weren't very aggressive attacking to the rim. So those 0 free throws wasn't a fluke. Homestead forcing them to take a lot of jump shots. Ayanna Patterson's length and quickness forcing Lawrence North to take a lot of deep threes. She was challenging them all game, and they were up for the challenge. Just not a lot of shots fell for them, only 30 points on the board. And then Homestead also dominated them on the glass. And the way you get to the line, it's going to be driving to the basket and putbacks. And Lawrence North not able to get either of those. They also like to play a fast-paced style of game. Lots of running gun action up the court, and Homestead able to slow it down. They controlled the pace of the game, and this Homestead team, for whatever reason, knows how to dominate Lawrence North. As each year they've played them since they started scheduling them again, Homestead has won.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about this team. 15-1 overall this season, undefeated in the SAC. They now move to 3rd in Class 4A, and so the remainder of the season does not look too difficult. Maybe the game on Monday as they travel to Ohio, but after that they have some pretty easy SAC conference games before they end this regular season and get ready for post-season action. Tip-off is just 10 minutes away now. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we take a look at the SAC girls basketball action over the weekend and a look ahead at the games for the rest of this week. Northfield at Homestead. More coverage right after this. Welcome back to Homestead girls basketball coverage as we continue on in the pregame show, and we're going to take a look at some of the SAC girls basketball games this past Saturday. Carmel beat Southside 62-44. Donnie, any takeaways from this matchup?
Well, Southside, they picked up a lot of losses on the year against very tough competition. The Lady Archers, I think they're still yet to get that one signature win that can really vault them to maybe a top 10, top 15 team in Class 4A. They're definitely good enough to knock off pretty much anyone when you have someone like J.C. Jones, maybe not the most consistent player around, but always capable, maybe has the most potential to just dominate a game in the area. We saw her go for 41 in the SAC Holiday Tourney. But this Carmel team, a lot of people are sleeping on this team, but they're a very good team. Probably gave Homestead their toughest test of the year other than Notre Dame Academy from Ohio, who was the Homestead's lone loss. But Carmel only lost by 1 to Homestead first game of the year. It's a team that has been getting progressively better throughout the season. They have a decent amount of losses as they play some of the toughest competition in the state, same conference as Lawrence North, teams like that. But you look at the Sagarin ratings, which are generally pretty accurate, especially at this point in the year. Carmel, a top 7 team, same with the North Central team Homestead beat, and Lawrence North, who was a top team in the state. So you look at Homestead, they're really racking up an impressive resume despite not playing maybe the most competitive teams for a lot of the year in Northeast Indiana, still beating 3 very good Indy teams in Lawrence North, North Central, and Carmel. And this Carmel team, perhaps a sleeper team to go on a deep run in the postseason.
Next up was 1A 11-6 Blackhawk and 4A 3-13 Wayne, with the Braves taking this one 40-28. What about this matchup?
Well, Wayne, they're not at a great point as a program. They're improved from a year ago. But Blackhawk Christian, 1A, a tough team. Not the best team, but Wayne able to push them a little bit. Their defense has definitely improved this season, but for the Lady Generals, they're going to have to improve their offense. 28 points isn't going to cut it, but still 3 wins on the year. They're certainly taking steps in the right direction.
Bishop Lures beat Canterbury on Saturday. Final score was 78-9, so that says a lot about the offense of Canterbury.
Yeah, Canterbury, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. They've lost games in a similar fashion to teams such as Snyder and Northside. Or maybe not, Northside was a little closer, but Snyder destroyed Canterbury. Canterbury, they're not in a good place as a program. This is a school that has multiple state championships at a lower level, so you expect them to maybe get back to a better place in coming years, but right now they're really struggling. We saw Grace Sullivan transfer from Canterbury to Homestead a year ago. This Canterbury program not in a great place, and Lures just another easy win for them. They're a tough team.
And finally, Penn beat Carroll 62-35. What about this matchup?
Well, it appears that Carroll's lost a bit of the momentum they had early on in the year. Penn, one of the probably top 5 best teams outside of the Indy area in Class 4A. You'd obviously have to put Homestead, Crown Point up there, but Penn haven't played the toughest competition. They've dominated most of their games. Their 2 losses to Crown Point and Carmel, 2 of the best teams in the state. This Penn team's very good, and Carroll, they've lost some games you wouldn't expect lately. Maybe thought they could compete a little more with Penn, lost by a similar margin to Hamilton Southeastern. This Carroll team, I definitely think to win their sectional, but you'd like to see them maybe compete with an elite opponent a little more.
Homestead still top of the SAC, 6-0 in the conference with just 3 more conference games left in the regular season. Homestead looking to once again claim a conference title with an unblemished record. Only a few more games this season. When we come back, we will take a look at the upcoming games in the SAC and a look at the last few games for the Homestead Lady Spartans. It's Northfield at Homestead. More basketball coverage right after this. Welcome back to Homestead Girls Basketball coverage as we continue on the pregame show, taking a look at some of the games involving SAC teams this week, as well as conference play on Friday night. First up, Bishop Dwenger tomorrow at Norwell. What about this matchup, Donnie?
Well, Bishop Dwenger, they're definitely not at the top of the SAC. They're really not at the middle, and they're definitely not at the bottom. They're sort of a slightly below average to average team. When you go to a team like Norwell, a power in the NE8, and they're heading to the Castle to play, that's a tough environment. I got Norwell winning pretty big.
Next up, the same night, Wayne at Concordia. What about this one?
Well, Concordia maybe not as good as they've been in past years. Graduated Carissa Garcia, their top player from a year ago. And Wayne, I still don't see them able to really compete with Concordia at the cage. Tough place to play as well. I think it's going to be a comfortable Concordia win. I think Wayne maybe keeps it a little closer than people think.
Thursday, Northrop at Belmont.
You know, this Northrop team led by Tiana White, I'd say they're in the same boat as Dwenger, maybe middle of the conference, maybe just below. And Belmont, probably the number 2 team in the NE8 behind Norwell. A really consistent program. It's always tough for a team from Fort Wayne to make that trip down to Decatur, play in a tough environment. I think Belmont wins this one. I think it's close.
On Friday, we got a lot of SAC action. First up, Bishop Lures out at Carroll.
And that's going to be a really good matchup on the girls' side. Really competitive. Lures, Carroll. A couple of, I should say, the 2 teams right below Homestead and Southside when you put the conference in a bigger picture. Carroll, I think they're looking for a big win. Bishop Lures, led by Lydia Reinbold, I think definitely contender to win their sectional. I do think that Carroll's able to win this one at home, but it's going to be very close.
Then we got the Legends out at Northrop High School.
Northside, it's not their year that just faced that. I think Northrop wins this one big.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Then Southside out at Concordia.
I think Concordia at home maybe makes it a little closer than people would expect. I think Southside still wins by 15+. I think Olivia Smith has a big game. I think Southside pulls away in the second half, but Concordia keeps it a little closer at halftime than people would expect.
And then finally up on Friday SAC action, it's Wayne out at Bishop Dwenger.
I actually like the Lady Generals to pull off the upset in this one. Bishop Dwenger, not a terrible team, but Wayne, eventually they're just going to have that one program-defining win, that one big upset. And even though Dwenger isn't anything special, I think Wayne, they do pull away. I do think they get the big win.
All right, and that will bring us to another break. When we come back, we take a look at the remainder of the season for the Homestead Lady Spartans. More basketball coverage live from Homestead right after this. Welcome back to the Locker Report pregame show as we take a look at the remainder of the season for the Homestead Lady Spartans. Only a few remaining matchups. North Central and Lawrence North were definitely the biggest hurdles so far this season, and I don't really see any tough competition the rest of the regular season. First up is Friday, a doubleheader versus Snyder alongside the boys.
Well, the boys game, that's going to be a phenomenal matchup, a rematch of the thrilling game in the SAC Holiday Tourney, which Snyder won by 2. The girls should be another blowout.
Yeah, I don't deny that whatsoever. Then Tuesday, the team travels to Warsaw. 11-6 this season are the Tigers.
Heading to the Tigers Den. Warsaw, a consistently solid program. Not good enough to beat this Homestead team, but I think it could be a little closer than people might expect.
Bottom of the SAC North side on January 24th. Legends are 1-15 this season.
Not even going to be close. Don't even talk about that one.
January 27th, a home game versus Heritage Christian.
And Heritage Christian, not a great record. This team did beat Homestead convincingly last year as Homestead hit the road, led by Ari Wiggins, a 5-star player, a really good sophomore. Junior, I believe. This is going to be a very closer game. I think Homestead by far the better all-around team, but Heritage Christian still talented, capable of keeping it close, and they play good competition year-round.
And the Lady Spartans wrap up the season on January 21st in a home game versus Northrop. Close the season out with the home crowd.
And I think they should be able to close this out with a comfortable win. Northrop, not as good as they've been in the past years. I think Homestead able to win this one pretty convincingly. Northrop maybe could pull it off an upset and win their sectional, but Homestead by far the better team.
And that will bring us to our final break. Tip-off is just minutes away now. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take a look at the starting lineups on both sides. Northfield at Homestead. More coverage right after this. Welcome back to Homestead High School game. Now just minutes away. I'm Ashton Ekman alongside Donnie Harmon, and before we broadcast tonight's game, we got to take a look at tonight's starting lineups. For the Homestead Spartans, number 12, Grace Sullivan, Ayanna Patterson, Sydney Graber, Riley Parker, and Amber Austin. 1A, Northfield, making the travel from Wabash over to Homestead. Who do you have in this matchup, Donnie?
Well, I have Homestead. Homestead should be the clear favorite in this one. This Northfield team, they're very good at their level. They did go to semi-state a year ago, did lose to the eventual champion Marquette Catholic, but this Northfield Norsemen team, they're playing good ball right now, 1-5 straight. Not a great offensive team. The defense could maybe keep it a little closer than projected against Homestead, but this Homestead defense, I don't think they should be able to give up too many points in Northfield in this game.
Do you see any Homestead Lady Spartans making a shiny moment in tonight's game?
I do think Ayanna Patterson is going to have a big game. I think Northfield isn't going to be able to match her inside her size. I think it's a huge advantage. I think she has one of her best games of the year.
Yeah, it should be a pretty high-scoring game, especially for Homestead, but I don't doubt them whatsoever. They should be able to pull off with the win.
Yeah, this Homestead team, they're able to compete against a team like Lawrence North win comfortably. They've been battle-tested this year. This is a gritty Homestead team. They play slow. They play good defense, and they're able to knock down open shots when they get them. The three-point shooting, something that's been on the upswing for the Lady Spartans, was under 30% for a lot of the year, up to 34% now. That's pretty good. And a big reason for that, Riley Parker. She was shooting good before, but now she's been shooting lights out the last few games. Starting with that career-high 27 against North Central, her three-point percentage has gone from the high 30s all the way up to 45%. She's been the catalyst for this Homestead Lady Spartan team that's been playing the best ball of this season right now.
And interim coach Kara Ankenbrook has done a pretty good job filling in for Coach Parker. Halfway through the season, she's only given them one loss.
And that was a tough loss to Notre Dame Academy, but we saw against Lawrence North, Homestead controlled the pace of the game. They looked like the better coached team in that game. Their game plan just seemed to work, and Homestead able to win by 14. She's done a great job filling in for Coach Rod Parker.
And game is about to get started. Ayanna Patterson out there for the Homestead Spartans.
And I expect her to win this tip. Ayanna Patterson, one of the most athletic high school girls players you'll see.
And indeed she does. Grace Sullivan now for the Lady Spartans.
And Northfield, you got to get a big stop early. You got to stop Homestead, and that's not going to cut it.
Amber Austin inside for the early layup. Homestead up now 2.
Great job by Homestead getting the ball inside. Amber Austin, not the flashiest player, but she takes advantage of opportunities when they come to her. This Northfield team, you got to get buckets early against this stout Homestead defense, one of the best in the state.
Addie Baker with it for the Norsemen.
And you got to penetrate. Lawrence North wasn't able to do that, and there you see him getting it inside. You know, the pass a little off. But for Northfield, you can't just pass it around the perimeter. You're not a great three-point shooting team. You want to get it inside. You want to cause some switches, cause some help defense, and find some open players inside, particularly your star players, Addie Baker, Emma Hoover.
Sydney Graber all the way up to the top of the key with Riley Parker, and she drains the three. Homestead now up 5 over the Norsemen.
And that's a mistake. You cannot leave Riley Parker open if you're Northfield, the best three-point shooter in the area, arguably.
Yeah, she is a sharp shooter. Sydney Graber gets the rebound. Up to Grace Sullivan now. Amber Austin for a deep 2, and it bounces off the back of the rim. Riley Parker with the second attempt, and it's no good.
And against a team like Homestead, if you're Northfield, you can't do what they just did there. They failed to box out, and Riley Parker, not known for what she does on the glass, does get 3 rebounds per game, but you can't let someone like that to get inside, get to the basket, get the easy offensive rebound uncontested. You have to box out, and Riley Parker gets to the line, 4 points. She's already having a huge impact on this game, Northfield, just making some simple mistakes. That's not going to cut it if they want to stay in it.
She's 77% from the free throw line, so 6-0 now the score.
And you mentioned 6-0, not a good start for Northfield. Homestead attacking early, pushing the tempo.
As she drains her second free throw. This possession goes now to the Norsemen.
And Riley Parker playing her best basketball of her career for Homestead, showing why she's a D1 commit to Purdue Fort Wayne. And it was a good job driving there by Kirsten Stout, just got cut off by Homestead. The ball movement looks good right now for Northfield, and that was a great job getting it inside.
Kenzie Bear. Now Addie Rosen gets the first points for the Northfield Norsemen.
Exactly what you need to do. Get the ball inside. Get baskets around the rim. You're not going to get many good looks on the perimeter.
Ayanna Patterson inside with the layup, and it's no good. Sydney Graber, the second chance. It's also no good as Addie Rosen gets the rebound.
You saw the height advantage there for the Spartans. Weren't able to make Northfield pay, but able to just use their length to get the rebound, and a sloppy mistake there by Northfield. You can't afford those in a game like this, and what a job by Homestead
Sydney
pushing in
Graber lays it
transition.
up. Now a 7-point game, 5:38 left in the first quarter.
Homestead completely controlling the pace of this game, generally plays slower. We saw it against Lawrence North right now, getting the ball out in transition. Their bigs are running the court with ease.
Hoover now. And yet another turnover. Sydney Graber up to Riley Parker, and she lays it in. It's now a 9-point game, 5:15 left in the first quarter.
And right now, you look at the scoreboard, Homestead 11 points, not even 3 minutes into the ball game. You think it's the defense that's having the issues for Northfield, but right now it's the offense, I think. They're turning the ball over, which is something you can't afford to do. The margin of error is next to none against a team like Homestead when you're Northfield. And turning the ball over, allowing Homestead to get out in transition. You want to make this Homestead Lady Spartan team beat you in the half-court sets. They're not a bad offensive team by any means, but in the half court, they're not necessarily the most explosive. Sometimes they can get a little stagnant. You want to force the game to be a lot slower, and now you're already playing from behind, down 9. You can't allow Homestead to get out in transition. You got to give credit to the way Riley Parker playing early in the game. 7 points right out of the gate. She's playing great basketball. And Homestead, they're bigs. You got to love the way they run the court, get down there, get to the basket, get rebounds, get points inside.
Emma Hoover now for the Northfield Norsemen. Down by Sullivan.
In Northfield, they have to find their go-to scorer right now. You expect it to be Hoover or Baker. Still, Homestead's defense can shut anyone down.
Stout now over to Rosen.
This Homestead defense not allowing any penetration right now. And you love the way the bigs are versatile on the defensive end, can guard out on the perimeter, play against much smaller players.
She struggled there to find a teammate, but now Kirsten Stout with it for the Norsemen.
And good job not backing down on Patterson, able to get the block, but you like the aggression. Homestead great against the loose balls. And what a job there by Addie Baker, getting back in transition, able to deflect that pass away. It was a great play. Looked like a cornerback on that. Able to knock it out of bounds. Northfield rewarded with possession. You got to love that hustle. Let's see if they can make it pay off with a basket. They had a player cutting, but Patterson great to catch up to them, not allow the inside pass.
Addie Baker for the Norsemen.
And more stagnant offense for the Norsemen, passing around the perimeter. Great pass inside there.
Can they get some points on the board? No, they cannot, as Grace Sullivan gets the air ball there up to Ayanna Patterson. She lays it up for 2, and it's now an 11-point game.
Great outlet pass there from the Spartans, and a miscommunication on defense there.
As Northfield answers, Kirsten Stout puts 2 on the board for Northfield.
Good job by Northfield pushing the ball in transition off the made shot for Homestead, getting back and able to get the easy basket. Homestead, you can't allow stuff like that, especially against better teams.
Inside to Patterson, and she will draw the foul.
And you have to love the off-ball screen there by Grace Sullivan. Free Ayanna Patterson up, and then Riley Parker finding her inside with a near-flawless pass. Patterson finishing at the rim. Great basketball there by Homestead on all 3 levels, on-ball, off-ball, and the screener. You have to love the way they're playing so far. Homestead, even though they're the heavy favorites, are not showing any signs of weakness early on. They're taking advantage of this Northfield team.
She's 54% from the free throw line as her first one is in.
And a great game for someone like Patterson to get going at the free throw line. Not high stakes against a team like Northfield. Northfield in need of a basket so far. Look to see them get it inside more.
Baker now. Over to Dale.
And you can't be sloppy with there. Almost lost the ball. And just a mistake you can't make. You have to make a better pass off the bounce. Northfield going to some substitutions right now, but you have to make a better pass off the bounce. You got to do a better job catching it. Turnovers so far for the Norsemen. And that's not going to cut it against a team like Homestead. Only 4 points, 2:55 left in the first, already down double digits. Something's going to have to start happening on offense.
As Patterson inside with the layup, and it's in. 18-4 now.
And we've known how good Ayanna Patterson is when she gets the ball on the lower block. Sometimes it's just about getting it to her. Right now, she's getting good one-on-one matchups, getting good positioning inside. Homestead doing a good job of feeding her. And you talk about feeding a player inside. What a pass that was.
Hoover answers for the Norsemen. It's now a 12-point game.
Good defense there, getting the steal.
And the three from Emma Hoover was no good. Riley Parker now with it for the Lady Spartans. Sydney Graber as Ayanna Patterson gets the job done. 26 now. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Patterson, 9 points already. You see the size mismatch inside. But you have to love Northfield right now, the way they're attacking in transition. Not afraid to let it fly from the top of the key. They're playing aggressive, which you like. That's also leading to some sloppy turnovers.
As Dale tries to get a three, it's knocked out by Graber.
And it was a good job by Ainsley Dale to free herself up, get the good look at the three, just wasn't able to connect. But the off-ball movement for Northfield hasn't been the issue. A lot of the passing on the perimeter hasn't been enough to get the job done so far in Homestead's defense, making them pay, doing a good job getting out in transition. Northfield has to slow the pace of the game down.
Megan Yoder out there on the court now. Over to Sullivan. Inside Amber Austin. And she gets the layup. 22-6 now. 1:30 remaining.
And that's what Amber Austin's good at, getting the ball on the block and mid-range jumpers. Not the flashiest offensive player, just 5.2 points per game, but she's efficient when the ball comes to her. She makes the most of her opportunities. 50% from the field. She's a great player for Homestead this year.
And we've seen some bench players make it out to the court, and they've been scoreless for quite some time now, since January 3rd. So we'll see if that streak can be broken.
And a lot of those games have been high-pressure games, north, central, south side. Lawrence, not about as tough of a three-game stretch as you can have now against a team like Northfield. Homestead already up 22-6. You expect the bench players to be a little more aggressive, a little more willing to take the open looks when they come to them, and hopefully they're able to get into more of a rhythm, because Homestead's going to need more production from their bench.
As Northfield now gets on the board, Kirsten Stout answering for Northfield.
Great shot there by Kirsten Stout. Deep two-pointer. A lost art for a lot of players. You don't see that shot taken too often.
Sydney Graber with a three,
and
it's now 25-8.
You see a lot more threes like that from Sydney Graber. At the mid-range, a bit of a lost art for him.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the first quarter as Northfield tries to get some last-minute points in.
And even up by 17 at this stage. You love the way Homestead's playing defense on the perimeter. You saw Molly Stock hounding her defender, or player she was guarding, all the way out to mid-court. And that's exactly what you need. You got to play hard every minute of the game.
Hoover drives inside to Stout as Amber Austin would not let her get it up.
And it's unfortunate Amber Austin got the foul there. I thought it was pretty good positioning up until the shot. And it was a great cut by Kirsten Stout to get the ball in a good position. Amber Austin obviously slid in front, but a good job around the rim, able to get to the free throw line.
59% from the charity stripe as she drains the first one.
Northfield need every point you can get at this point. The offense hasn't been terrible for them so far.
As her second one bounces in, 10 seconds to go here in the first set of 15.
Great on-ball screen there.
As Sydney Graber shoots a deep three, and that will do it for the first quarter. Homestead 25, Northfield 10. Any takeaways so far, Donnie?
Well, Homestead's the better team. Northfield, the offense started to pick up a lot more towards the end of that first quarter. But Homestead, they're just more talented. We've seen the size advantage, able to get almost every rebound, push it in transition. That's been the big difference so far. Homestead been dominating in the fast-paced style of play that they've had at points in this game. Homestead normally more of a slow it down type team, but so far they've excelled in the fast break.
Yeah, already up 25 as we get ready for quarter two. Makes you wonder how high scoring it might be.
Well, this Homestead team obviously on pace to score 100 right now. We saw them score 96 against Snyder. Northfield, they're doing a good job. This Homestead team hasn't given up more than 50 this year. 10 points at the end of the first quarter. It could be a lot worse for them on offense. And if they hadn't been turning the ball over so much, it could be maybe even closer. But the turnover is something that Northfield has to cut out. You know, Coach Allen is talking to her team right now. That's an end point of emphasis.
And Homestead is just rolling with the momentum over the past weekend. Southside on Friday, Lawrence North on Saturday, and so they're still continuing that same momentum here tonight.
And they couldn't be playing with any more confidence at this point in the year. Riley Parker playing with a ton of confidence right now, especially when she shoots it. Anytime she's open, you think it's going to go in.
As we get prepared to get quarter 2 action underway.
Big first possession, Northfield. You want to come out of the break with some energy, get some momentum going.
Hoover to Stout. Baker now over to Bear.
And just another mistake. You can't have a travel there. You got to be able to maintain your pivot. I know the Homestead defense puts a lot of pressure on you, but you can't have stuff like that happen.
Stock now Yoder.
And I look to see the bench players for Homestead get a little more involved on the offensive end. I want to see him get some shots. But who better to shoot than Riley Parker?
They leave her open, almost in, but Northfield gets the rebound.
And a wide open look in transition there, Faith Lemon. You'd rather see them take it to the basket, but so far the mid-range has worked well for Northfield.
Megan Yoder over to Maggie Stock.
And that's what you like to see, bench players taking shots. Wasn't able to connect there, Megan Yoder. But a good offensive rebound from Riley Parker. She's been rebounding the ball very well this game, getting into the lane, cutting down the baseline to get to the basket after the shot is up. The hustle is paying off for Homestead right now, and they say good things come to those.
Just under 7 minutes to go now. Riley Parker open again, and she drains the three, 28-10.
And the shot you want Homestead to take 10 times out of 10, Riley Parker open 3. It doesn't get much better than that.
She's off to a great start tonight. 10 points.
And Kirsten Stout, she's been the only one I've seen consistently attacking on the offense right now for Northfield. 6 points, just under a season average of just under 8. Maybe a bit of an unsung hero this year for the Norsemen. She's playing good ball right now.
Baker now to Hoover. As she puts up a 3, and it's off the mark. Megan Yoder.
Great job pushing it ahead. Molly Stock finding Patterson. Put it in the perfect place for Ayanna Patterson, 6'3". She knew she could put it somewhere in the and Northfield wouldn't be able to get it.
It's now a 20-point game with just under 6 minutes to go now.
And Northfield down 20. You got to start hitting some shots or this could get out of hand. Great job by Patterson cutting her off on the baseline, forcing her to step out of bounds. Homestead putting on a clinic right now on the defensive end. This second quarter been phenomenal. Northfield hasn't scored yet.
As Graber and Sullivan make it back out onto the court. Allison Stevens also making a debut on the hardwood.
Allison Stevens, talented freshman. She's shown her ability to shoot it. She's not afraid in the big moments to take a shot. She's going to be a good player in years to come.
Riley Parker open once again, just off the back of the rim.
Good job, Northfield pushing it. A good look, just not able to hit right now.
Ayanna Patterson puts it in for 2. 32 now, 10, 12-point game, 5-12 remaining in this first half.
And that's what Homestead's done so well this game, getting out in transition. Ayanna Patterson, she's looked better with the ball in this game than I think she has in any other game this year. She's been great on the fast break. And good defense by the freshman Allison Stevens there, cutting Northfield off on the baseline. You love to see the way Homestead's playing defense this quarter. Haven't allowed a basket yet.
Up 22 as Just under 5 minutes till the half.
And these last 5 minutes are going to be key for Northfield. How you head into the half. Do you head in with momentum, with your heads held high, or do you get down on yourselves, let Homestead really start to dominate?
Third quarter is when the Lady Spartans shine, no doubt, and if they're already up 22, wonder how much more damage you can get second half.
Good job by Rosen maneuvering around Riley Parker there. Only averages about a point per game on the year. She already has 4. That was some great offense. You love to see someone who's not necessarily a massive contributor being aggressive.
Grace Sullivan inside to Patterson. Back out to Graber.
And Homestead right now, they've been great with the ball. They do turn the ball over a decent amount, but so far, Northfield not able to handle the Spartans' offense.
Graber keeps it for Homestead, and she lays it up, 34-12.
And even up by 20, you have to love the hard work from the Lady Spartans. Sydney Graber getting the second chance points.
Hoover around Sullivan.
Emma Hoover has to step up just 2 points, averages 12 per game to lead the team. Northfield wants to come back, and a great cut there, but a good recovery by Sydney Graber. You have to love the way Kirsten Stout got to the basket, but Sydney Graber able to block it away. In Northfield, you're going to have to start getting some stops. I think in the half court, this is where you can get some momentum on the defensive end.
Sullivan tried to drive inside as Riley Parker, a deep 2, and she sets it in, 36-12, just over 3 minutes to go.
You love to see the use of the mid-range from Riley Parker. Great job. Obviously, she caught it off the curl. They thought it was going to be a 3-ball. She proved them wrong. A nice, decisive move to the mid-range where she was able to make it happen.
Ayana Patterson stepping up for this team, 13 points so far. Riley Parker 12. Grace Sullivan with it now.
And the ball movement has been Homestead's bread and butter in this game so far. The offense is a well-oiled machine out there.
Sydney Graber puts it up 38-12 now.
Perhaps the best offensive game we've seen from the Spartans this year. They could potentially put up 100, but I expect them to take their foot off the gas. And this game follows the trend it's on right now. Northfield just 2 points this quarter. You're going to have to start hitting shots. It doesn't matter what type of looks you get if you're not able to connect. They've gotten some open looks. The off-ball movement, the off-ball screens has been great. They've had some good cuts. They just haven't been able to convert. And Homestead's defense and length inside has been the main reason why.
As Kenzie Bear lays it in, it is now a 24-point game.
You love to see baskets like that start heading in the right direction for Northfield. And what a drive from Grace Sullivan. That's what she can do. She can penetrate the defense and either finish at the rim, which she's pretty good at, or dish it to someone else. When she's able to penetrate, Homestead's a completely different team on offense.
Northfield trying to drive inside.
The Norsemen got to get some baskets here. Good move inside, Addie Baker. They've been pretty good inside in the post. A lot better than a lot of other teams. Even Lawrence North wasn't as aggressive inside as Northfield.
Riley Parker open once again, and it is off the front of the rim. Sydney Graber, a second chance.
And that's where you can only do so much of your Northfield. Ayana Patterson keeping the ball alive for Homestead or length. A team like Northfield, they played some okay teams, but they're just not going to face anyone like Ayana Patterson this year. When you have someone else like Sydney Graber out there able to clean up what Ayana Patterson keeps alive, Homestead, they're just going to dominate on the glass 10 times out of 10.
68% from the free throw line as her first one is in.
And I don't know if Homestead's had 3 players in double digits so quickly this year. Patterson already with 13, Graber 11, and Riley Parker 12. The big 3 dominating for Homestead right now. And Sydney Graber, free throw shooting hasn't been her best aspect of her game this year, but she's having the best season of her career at Homestead. Recently scored her 1,000th point, and anyone who scores 1,000 points has to be considered a great high school player.
And she's getting back up there, and points-wise, 11 now. Patterson, 13.
Good pump fake, good drive. Just a terrible finish, but a foul is called. Really out of control, but a good job drawing the foul. If there was no foul called there, that would have been a contender for worst shot of the season.
42-16, just over a minute to go. See how far Homestead can pull away as she drains her first free throw.
Good-looking free throw. Addie Rosen playing great basketball. Already just 1 point away from her season high as 6. She gets it there. Great-looking free throws. And the fundamentals are what are going to keep Northfield from getting completely run out of the gym.
Patterson puts it up and almost in.
A good-looking move, though, from Ayanna Patterson. You like to see her add skill moves like that into her game. And Northfield, I think, right now on the offensive end, they're doing a good job getting the ball inside. The offense hasn't been a bad issue for them. They're doing better than a lot of teams do against Homestead. Just the defense, they're not getting back in transition. They're giving up too many second-chance opportunities, and Homestead's hitting shots. And that was a good cut. A good cut there by the Northfield player.
Less than a minute to go now in the second quarter. Megan Yoder, Patterson.
And even up this much, you don't like to see turnovers like that for Homestead. Those are just mental mistakes, and some you want to correct. The player who just scored for Northfield actually don't have her list on the roster. Interesting enough. But they're making big contributions. Definitely an unsung hero. And Northfield, they're able to head into half down 20 or less. That'll be big just for honor, I guess.
Kirsten Stout, Addie Baker now.
Well, score paid Homestead up 25-19 on Blackhawk Christian in the second quarter. Anyone interested in that game?
Yeah, this may be a blowout win, but much better matchup out there.
Definitely. You want to talk about a great matchup. Luke Goody, Caleb First, two of the best players in the area, two of the best players in the state in the junior class. Loads of coaches out there. Tom Izzo, Roy Williams, to name a couple. That's definitely a premier matchup. Two teams have had great head-to-head contests every time they've gone up against each other in recent years. Two talented programs, two of the top teams in the area perennially. And great steal there by Molly Stock.
As she sets it in, 44-20. And that will do it for the first half of play. Homestead up 24 over the Northfield Norsemen.
And what a half from the Homestead Lady Spartans. One of the best jobs I've seen them do out in transition. They've just ran the court well. They've passed it well. They've been on the same page. It was probably the smoothest half of basketball I've seen Homestead play. Northfield, they did a pretty good job on offense, I would say, especially getting the ball inside. That's something Homestead hasn't allowed much on the year. Northfield 20 points a half, on pace for 40 points on the game. That's a lot better than most teams do against this Homestead Lady Spartan squad.
Only 56 to 100. Do you see them breaking into triple digits?
I don't know. I think if the trend continues, we're going to see a lot more reserves head into the game. I don't see them breaking triple digits, but if they keep doing what they're doing, this should definitely be a comfortable win and a fun second half of offense.
We're going to take a quick break before we get some halftime action. Don't go anywhere. It's the Northfield Norsemen at Homestead High School. to Homestead High School. It's halftime, 44-4 over the Norsemen.
And Homestead, what a great half. Absolutely dominant on the offensive side of the ball. The ladies Spartans playing some great basketball right now. Little scoring summary for Homestead, the big three. Led him in that half. Ayana Patterson dominated. I thought she would have a big game, and she has so far. 13 points. We saw Sydney Graber score 12, along with Riley Parker, who also scored 12. Amber Austin with 4. Molly Stock, Grace Sullivan each with 2. And then for Northfield, you had Addie Rosen. She had 6. Kirsten Stout had 6. Addie Baker, Kenzie Bear, Emma Hoover, and number 23, the mystery player, each with 2.
The boys out at Blackhawk Blackhawk.
Oh yeah, great game going on right now. Homestead up 31-23. Definitely an exciting one. A packed house over there at Blackhawk Christian.
It's good to see them with an early lead.
And Homestead, they've struggled against some of the more talented teams they face this year. North Central. It was a bad loss for them. Marion as well. This Marion team not the same as they were at the start of the year. But this Homestead boys basketball team has the talent to make a deep run in the tournament. I think they're the clear-cut favorites right now to win their sectional. And right now, this Homestead boys basketball team, lots of talent. They should be a fun team to watch the rest of the year. Still in first place in the conference.
6 minutes to go till the teams come back from the locker room. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Homestead. Don't forget, the Lady Spartans are in action this Friday evening alongside the boys team in an SAC doubleheader here at home. They host the Snyder Panthers. Girls game beginning at 6. Boys to follow. The girls game should be a high-scoring one. However, the boys game will be a much closer matchup. Again, that's this Friday starting at 6 here at home.
And that's going to be a fun doubleheader, especially the boys game. The girls game, Homestead should win fairly comfortably. We saw them win 96-24 last time out against Snyder. But for this boys game this Friday, it should be an electric environment. You look at the Snyder team, got the 2-point win over Homestead last time out. Michael Ely, Dylan Duff, 2 primetime players in the area. It's going to be a fun game.
A lot of turnovers out in the holiday tournament during that game against Snyder. Hopefully Homestead can limit the amount of times Snyder gets control of the ball.
And you know, everyone hates turnovers unless they're cherry or apple, so Homestead, they can't turn the ball over like they have in some of their bigger games this year. It's definitely going to be a very fun matchup, though. Michael Ely, you got to watch him in that game at 31 points last time out against Homestead. It's going to be a blast. That game very well could decide the conference.
You got a score update for us for the Homestead game?
Homestead up 31-25 right now in the second quarter over Blackhawk Christian. Blackhawk, obviously #1 team in Class 2A. These games have been very meaningful over the past couple of years. It was a great game 2 years ago. Last year, the traveling trophy was on the line. So that was a little something extra. No traveling trophy on the line this year for Homestead and Blackhawk. We should mention the Homestead Lady Spartans currently in possession of the traveling trophy. Very coveted prize. But definitely looking like they're going to hold on to it.
44-20 is the score here at Homestead, and you got some stats up there for the two teams. Obviously, you can tell the difference. 57 points per game for Homestead, 46 for Northfield, but again, two different classes there.
And heading into this game, this Northfield team, they were a high turnover team, averaging over 18 turnovers per game. And it's shown in this one. That's been their big weakness against the Homestead Lady Spartans. The turnovers have led to points out in transition, and that's what has fueled the Homestead offensive fire.
Second half action just about to get underway. We'll take one more quick break, but don't go anywhere. It's the Northfield Norsemen at Homestead High School. Welcome back to Homestead High School as we get ready for third quarter action between the Lady Spartans and the Northfield Norsemen.
And this is going to be a big third quarter for Northfield. They want to work their way back into this game. I think you got to get to 14 to 10 or maybe 10 points heading into the fourth quarter if you want a chance. Pretty unlikely at this stage, down 24 heading into the third quarter. But it'll be interesting to see what Coach Melissa Allen, what adjustments she made for her Northfield Norsemen team, and see if they can cut into this Homestead lead, whereas right now the Lady Spartans in firm control of this game, which is not an unfamiliar territory.
The usual five with the exception of Molly Stock out there for the Spartans to get the second half started. Graber, Parker, Austin, Patterson, and Stock.
And Homestead starting with a bench player to start the second half. Maybe not going to be as aggressive heading into the third quarter. Molly Stock definitely played a great first half of basketball, though, for Homestead off the bench. First bench points in a long time.
Stock up to Parker now. Back to Stock as she sets it up for three, and it's off the back of the rim. Graber the rebound. Over to Parker. She's an open three, and it's also off the rim. Inside to Amber Austin, and she gets the layup, 46-20.
And you can't stress enough how good Homestead has been in this game, feeding the post. We saw Molly Stock back it out. Thought she would take a three, but instead delivered a beautiful pass inside to Amber Austin.
Baker sets it up for three, and it's an air ball knocked out.
And air balls are not how you get back into the game. Not only do you miss the shot, it just sucks some energy out of the team every time you see the shot go up and not even nick the rim at all. Homestead definitely starting to take control of this one. They have for a while now.
Stock to Patterson. Amber Austin comes out. Stock on the right wing. Riley Parker. Graber drives the hoop. Layup no good. Bear with the rebound.
And good defense there by Addie Baker. Good positioning, forcing Sydney Graber to take a tough shot.
She put one up for three, but Patterson got the rebound. Graber drives the hoop, and no good.
Good move by Sydney Graber. She's done that well all year, able to draw fouls around the rim, especially in transition. Doesn't always look the smoothest in transition. Sometimes looks a little awkward heading to the rim, but a lot of times it pays off for Homestead. She's a good finisher around the rim, draws a lot of fouls as well. She's shot over 100 free throws this year. And she's shooting them about 68%. It's going up after this game. She's been playing great so far. 13 points, 1,000 career points. Big reason Homestead was able to knock off the #1 team in the state on Saturday.
And the second one off the rim there. It's now a 27-point game.
Northfield got to get a bucket. The offense been pretty stagnant for most of this game. They've scored in some quick spurts, but the half-court offense has to be better.
Stout tries to get in.
And you see Ainsley Dale with the ball there. And great on-ball defense by Molly Stock, forcing her to give it up tough to find a man there.
Baker tries to drive in on the paint. And that one's over the glass.
And maybe the intent there by Kenzie Bear more to draw the foul than make the shot, as apparent by the shot going over the backboard. But a good job inside, forcing the contact. Got to hit free throws. Kenzie Bear, just a 51% free throw shooter on the year. Has played a solid game inside.
As that one's not in, and still 27-point difference.
And if they're not able to hit free throws, it's going to be very tough to chip away at this Homestead Spartan lead. They've been absolutely dominant in this one.
As Baker's second one, no good. Patterson the rebound.
And Patterson pushing in transition at 6'3", showing off her ball skills.
Riley Parker open once again, off the back of the rim. Graber keeps it alive for the Spartans. Almost in.
And Graber and Patterson have been going to town on the boards in this game, crashing the glass after every miss, seemingly getting a second chance, another look every time. That's the main reason Homestead's been able to pull away and be up by 27. It's been the offensive rebounding, it's been the defense forcing turnovers. Homestead doing the little things right.
Graber's first free throw is in. Lady Spartans now up 28.
And a lot of times teams have been outmatched by Homestead's height. I don't think it gets talked about enough. A team like Lawrence North, #1 in the state, weren't the tallest team, didn't have a lot of bodies inside to handle someone like Ayanna Patterson, Sydney Graber, Amber Austin. And Homestead was really able to take advantage inside. They were able to win the battle on the glass. They were able to control the paint.
As Bear puts it up for three, and Austin gets the rebound for the Lady Spartans.
And you have to hit open threes if you're Kenzie Bear. Northfield just not able to do that so far in this game. They missed a lot of open shots and they're not able to get enough second chances. Great job.
Some momentum here.
It was a great job intercepting the passing lane by Addie Rosen. She's playing a great game. A mistake there, however.
Graber now with it for the Lady Spartans. Austin. Parker open once again. She sets it up for three, and it bounces off the back of the rim. Sydney Graber tries to drive in, and it's snatched away.
Hasn't been a phenomenal shooting game from Riley Parker. Started off hot, but maybe I think she heats up whenever the pressure does.
Addie Rosen.
And Northfield, despite being down as much as they are, you have to love the mentality of them. Getting the ball inside, not afraid to go against the Giants of Homestead. They've been rewarded with some trips to the line. They've got most of their baskets in the paint. It's been the willingness to bang inside for Northfield that's been keeping them within striking well, I wouldn't say within striking distance, but it's a lot closer than it could be.
28-point lead for the Lady Spartans, just over 5.
In Northfield, if they want to, I don't think they're going to come back. If they want to come back, it's going to take something dramatic for them. They're going to have to start hitting threes. I think the offense, they've been doing the right things. They've been getting the right looks. They just haven't been connecting on most of their jumpers, most of their points coming inside the paint. They've been moving the ball around well. They're obviously a very well-coached team. There's a reason they went to semi-state a year ago. Melissa Allen doing a great job in her 5th year at Northfield. 3 sectional championships, 2 regionals. A great coach in the area, very underrated. And you can see the way her team plays on offense, the off-ball movement, the screens, everything. Against a lesser opponent than Homestead, this Northfield team, very dangerous.
Sullivan at the end of the bench getting looked out at by a Homestead trainer.
Now we've seen Grace Sullivan. We haven't seen her yet in the second half. Northfield struggling to get it in, eventually do.
Hopefully Sullivan be able to ice it up, get back out here for Friday. Sullivan does a pretty good job getting the ball around for the Lady Spartans.
And Homestead really shouldn't be tested too much at the end of the year, but anything's possible.
Emma Hoover tried to put one in. It was no good. Here's Stout. Inside, and it's knocked away by Amber Austin.
And they didn't get the basket in the end, but it was a great job by Emma Hoover to get the second chance opportunity.
Ayanna Patterson lays it up for 2. It's now a 30-point game.
The way Homestead has been feeding the post in this game has been a thing of beauty. Ayanna Patterson getting her best looks of the year.
Kirsten Stout tried to put one up for 2, but Sydney Graber brings it down.
And the shots just aren't falling right now for Northfield, and a great move by Patterson, just couldn't finish. Love to see the Norsemen pushing in transition, though.
Rosen with it for the Northfield Norsemen. Drives inside, and Patterson knocks it away.
Turnover's a big bugaboo right now for Northfield.
And she puts it up. It's now 52-20. Stout wide open.
And that's the game it's been for Northfield. A great job getting down the floor by 23, just couldn't finish at the rim.
Sydney Graber, the corner 3, no good. .339 in the third quarter.
And so far, Northfield, the defense has been better in the second half. I think a big reason for that, Grace Sullivan hasn't been in the game. She's the catalyst for the Homestead Lady Spartan offense. She's the one who gets into the lane, forces help defense, creates a lot of looks for other players, leads the team with 5.6 assists. She's a very underrated player.
Maggie Kinsley try to knock it away.
You have to love the aggression on the defensive end there by Maggie Kinsley, intercepting the passing lane. Without the foul, she's going back the other way for 2. Maybe the basketball equivalent of a pick 6.
Yoder for the Lady Spartans, up to Graber. Parker inside to Patterson. And she gets the layup off the rim. Northfield brings it down.
Good job getting back for Northfield. Very aggressive, and Patterson gets called for the foul there, but she's played great defense in this game. Ayanna Patterson, one of the rarest types of athletes you'll see in girls basketball, the best athlete I've seen in recent years.
Emily Pennington needs to drain both. First one no good.
It's been the little things that Northfield hasn't been able to convert on, the free throws. It's been the turnovers, it's been the missed layups, the missed open looks. The Norsemen just haven't been playing the best fundamental game.
Her second one no good either. Patterson gets it for the Spartans.
And for someone her size to be able to handle the ball the way she does, Ayanna Patterson, a special talent.
Patterson inside, out to an open Yoder. And Patterson a deep 2, and it's in.
Ayanna Patterson doing a great job in the high post this game. Doing a good job passing, able to show off her expanded range.
Let's see if Northfield can finish good ball movement. It's kept alive as Pennington lays it up for 2.
Great job by Emily Pennington. Has 4 points on the game.
First points for Northfield in the second half. Patterson, another 2. It's no good. Stout.
Northfield got lucky there. Megan Yoder, great job sneaking up on the offensive player, nearly took it away.
Addie Rosen. It's tipped away. Riley Parker. Let's see the finish. The layup is good. 56-22. Just over 150 to go here in the third quarter.
Homestead once again great in transition. Nearly had another steal there. The half-court offense could use some work in this half. Only 10 points in the third quarter. A far cry from the first 2 Northfield. The adjustments they made at the half are clearly having some positive effects.
Northfield calls a 30-second timeout.
And yet another timeout.
A little score update. Homestead up 42 to 29 on Blackhawk Christian. The second half starting the way they hope. Luke Goody playing a great ball game so far for Homestead.
Really starting to pull away. Let's see if they can keep it alive. And don't forget, this Friday, both these teams will be back here at Homestead in another SAC doubleheader against the Snyder Panthers. Girls game at 6, boys to follow. And as it looks right now, both will be heading into that game with a win. Let's hope it stays that way on the boys' side.
And Blackhawk always able to making a quick comeback. Caleb Burst, a top 30 player. You have Zane Burke, Marcus Davidson, probably the best trio in the area. Northfield in need of some baskets, really struggling this half. Just 2 points in the third quarter. It's not going to get the job done.
And first possession back after the timeout, and they can't keep it in.
Homestead's done a great job guarding the inbound passes this game. It's been tough for Northfield to get in every time.
Pennington. Hoover inside to Pennington, and she puts it up for 2.
Great feed from Pennington inside to Hoover, just out of the reach of Sydney Graber. The perfect feed, and good job converting.
Parker now with it for the Lady Spartans.
You like to see some of the bench players for Homestead more active. And
Riley Parker open again, and she drains it. It's 59-24.
If you keep leaving her open, she's going to make you pay eventually. Northfield has to do a better job on defense.
There's that one almost in, but knocked out.
And Northfield doing a good job. I think they're doing a better job than Lawrence North has getting the ball inside, getting around the rim, getting to the free throw line, obviously. They've done a good job of that.
Hoover's 66% from the free throw line, and her first one is in.
Emma Hoover has to play a little bit better down the stretch, leads the team in scoring. She's a big reason Northfield ranked in Class 1A as the free throw woes continue.
Graber tries to drive in, and she gets the layup.
Phenomenal job there by Sydney Graber, maneuvering her way into position in the lane, able to get an easy basket at the rim. There's a reason she's one of the best players in the area. And great job by Sydney Graber getting her hands in there to force the jump ball.
Just under a minute to go here in the third quarter from Homestead. Lady Spartans up 61-24.
This Northfield team just 4 points this quarter. The defense has played better, but the offense very stagnant.
Dale tries to answer, and Baker can't get the layup.
And they're not afraid to drive in on Ayanna Patterson. She's gotten some fouls in this game. That's her second. They've gone into the paint. This Northfield team, they have the right mindset out there. It just hasn't paid off. They're just not as talented as Homestead team.
Addie Baker, 78% from the free throw line. Her first one is in.
And Northfield, they just haven't been able to get enough free throws in this game to chip away at that Homestead lead.
And her second one, she lays it down. Patterson to Parker. Hand it off to Kinsley. And Patterson.
And one of the few times I think Homestead has really forced it into the paint this game. That time, Patterson really didn't have the great position inside. They tried to get it into her. Didn't pay off. But they do get a second chance, thankfully.
Looks to find an open teammate. Kinsley keeps it alive for the Lady Spartans. Over to an open Parker once again. And that one almost in, not quite. Ball kept alive. Off the back of the rim, and Maggie Kinsley gets the job done.
You love to see Maggie Kinsley aggressive inside. She hasn't been the quickest to pull the trigger as of late. Hasn't been shooting the ball much, but she was able to get into the paint, get a good look. Didn't hit it, but she was able to get her own miss. Great job following her shot and putting it back in. Homestead, the more they get production from the bench, that's not the key part of their team, but that's just an added bonus.
As we gear up for fourth quarter action now. Patterson leading the team, 19.
And Patterson, Graber, and Riley Parker, you can't stress enough how good they've been in this game for Homestead. They're the main reason they're in firm control, looking like they'll win. And this fourth quarter, it's really just big for Northfield. This is where you make adjustments. This is where you show you can compete against a team like Homestead, even if it's just for 8 minutes. You want to win this fourth quarter, or you want to outscore your opponent.
Last 8 minutes, let's see how far Homestead can pull away. Northfield Only 7 points this half.
And these final 8 minutes, they can set the tone for the rest of Northfield's season. If they go out there, they really cut into this Homestead lead. It's too late for them to win this, let's just be frank, but if they can cut into this Homestead lead, if they can play a good fourth quarter, that'll give them some momentum heading to the final stretch of this year and heading into the postseason, where this team is very capable of going on a run.
As Sydney Graber will get the fourth quarter started. Parker's stock. Amber Austin inside to Patterson, and she puts it up for 2.
And Anna Patterson just too big, too strong, too fast, too good right there for Northfield. She's had her way this game.
Dale tries to get around Parker.
Great defense by Riley Parker, cutting her off on the baseline. She's played great defense all year, an underrated aspect of her game.
Hoover to Stout. Dale once again.
And I really like a lot of the way some of Northfield's players who don't score a ton have played in this one. They've been one of the big positives for the Norsemen.
Hoover tried to put it inside, but Graber knocked it away. Stock for 3, and just off the back of the rim. Amber Austin, Stock, Parker, inside to Austin, and she gets the job done.
And in transition, Molly Stock's 3 didn't fall, but you have to love to see the confidence from a freshman, catching in transition, not hesitating to pull the trigger. She's going to be a good player for Homestead in the future.
As Riley Parker knocks it away, she's open, and she puts it in for 2.
Riley Parker doing a great job jumping in the passing lane, stealing the ball, and getting 2. She's been great in transition, pushing it up the court. As Homestead's up 15 now on Blackhawk Christian.
Dale can't get inside.
Good ball screen there. Didn't result in anything much happening on offense, but you love to see them still going out there running the offense.
Stout out to Hoover.
And it just hasn't been a great game for Emma Hoover. For Northfield, averages 12.3 points per game. Only 5 in this one. A lot of her shots have been errant so far. It's been the other players picking her up, but it hasn't been enough as Homestead firmly in control.
6 minutes to go as more bench players make it out for the Lady Spartans.
Great on-ball defense by Stock. She's been aggressive off the bench on the defensive end. And a good job there splitting the double.
Amber Austin, and she gets it in.
And Amber Austin just takes advantages inside, has soft touch, great body control around the rim, able to finish at a high percentage off the glass.
Stout within the corner. Rosen hands it off to Lemming.
And Northfield just 7 points this half. I want to see them get some more down the stretch.
Out to Lemming and off the back of the rim. Stevens to Stock, and she gets the layup.
Freshman to freshman there. Allison Stevens getting the rebound and a great outlet pass down the court. Molly Stock catching it in stride. Fantastic finish at the rim. You have to love the future for Homestead.
Baker trying to find an open teammate, but she decides to shoot for 3. Austin gets the rebound off the back of the rim. Stevens, that went off the mark.
And not a great shot from Allison Stevens. You like to see the confidence, though.
As Kirsten Stout puts 2 more on the board for Northfield.
And she's played a rock-solid game, 8 points. She's been consistent throughout.
Maggie Kinsley tries to get a 3, and she drains it. 76-29, 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Her first three-pointer of the year. You like to see Maggie Kinsley aggressive, catching the ball in a great position to let it fly, and she does. Good to see her hit her first 3. Amber Austin just showing off how versatile of a defender she is. Known for her post defense, but able to guard players out on the perimeter.
Fleming hands it off to Rosen, and she drains it.
I've been more than impressed with the play of Addie Rosen in this one. A season-high 9 points. She stepped up big off the bench for the Norsemen.
Kinsley to Stevens. Stock. Over to Yoder. Kinsley drives the paint. And can't get the layup.
Now Homestead putting some players in who don't get a ton of playing time. Good to see Homestead. Going to be a hard-earned victory.
Rounding out the last 3.5 minutes here from Spartan Arena. Helmkamp. Yoder from the corner. Off the back of the rim.
Great job at Mary Catherine Landrigan following the miss, tracking down the long rebound.
Stevens out to Yoder. Back inside.
Good job by Allison Stevens, aggressive inside, drawing the foul, showing off her willingness to just put her head down and go to the basket. That's a quality that not many freshmen exhibit.
And she heads to the line, 2 for 5 this season. First one not in.
And Allison Stevens, free throw shooting, obviously something freshmen oftentimes don't excel at, but she's someone, just watching her and shoot around, she has the ability to light it up in the future for Homestead. She's going to be a key piece in Homestead, replacing players like Riley Parker and Sydney Graber.
Homestead now up 45. Addie Baker out to Rosen. Drives the paint and can't get the job done. Allison Stevens brings it back.
And you like to see the ball moving from some of Homestead's reserves. Different people out there. Same result. Good defensive play there by the Norsemen, intercepting the pass.
As Addie Baker drains the three, 77-35.
And a good job in transition. Northfield starting to get some of these three-pointers to fall in the fourth quarter. Still a bad offensive half, just 15 points.
Yoder tipped away by the defender. Can she answer? She can. Addie Baker.
And gotta love the hustle there from Addie Baker. She just got to the ball faster than Megan Yoder, able to get the points in transition as a result.
Helmkamp for the three, off the front of the rim.
Homestead up 11 to start the fourth quarter against Blackhawk.
As Rosen puts it in for two, 77-39.
Addie Rosen playing the game of her career out there. The sophomore, definitely a bright future.
Allison Stevens drives the hoop.
And Northfield definitely looking improved in transition, getting a lot more looks, moving the ball faster. They played a much stronger fourth quarter.
As Rosen puts it up and it goes in.
Fortunately, double dribble on Addie Rosen. This has to be a big confidence boost of a game for her.
Northfield able to cut into that Homestead lead as we get into the final minute of this matchup. Stevens for three, and just to the left.
And Homestead still playing the same offense, still going out there, still playing hard.
Addie Rosen drives the hoop. Out to Baker.
I've liked the way Northfield has played in this fourth quarter. They're obviously going against some of Homestead's later people off the bench, but still, they're going out there. They're playing with a certain level of intensity I didn't see in the first couple of quarters. And it's paying off on the scoreboard as they're starting to get into a little bit more of a rhythm.
Lady Spartans only up 37 as she drains her second free throw.
Addie Baker with 13, playing a great game. Team's second leading scorer, leading rebounder. She came to play.
Landrigan to Yoder. As the clock ticks down, 15 seconds to go.
Yet another good win for the Homestead ladies. Spartans being a good 1A school.
As Helmkamp will draw the clock down, and that will do it. The Lady Spartans getting the win over the Northfield Norsemen, 77-41. No surprise here.
No surprise here, but Northfield played good down the stretch. Homestead, though, just the more talented team. No matter how good Northfield played that game, it was unlikely it would be close. This Homestead team is just another level of talent from the rest of the area.
The Homestead boys still in action out at Blackhawk Christian.
Homestead up 10 right now in the fourth quarter. That's definitely going to be a fun one to watch down the wire.
Once again, your final score tonight, Homestead 77, Northfield 41. It'll be interesting to see how the boys matchup comes as Sullivan here at Homestead, she limps off the court. It'll be interesting to see if she makes an appearance this Friday.
It'll be interesting. Most importantly, though, hopefully Grace Sullivan able to go for the postseason as Homestead Heritage Christian, the only real test left on their schedule.
Once again, this Friday, Homestead boys and girls are in action in another SAC doubleheader. The Snyder Panthers making the trip to Homestead. It'll be an interesting matchup on the boys' side. Girls should get another easy win. Girls game at 6, boys to follow. Those games will be broadcast on the Point 91 FM as well as right here on the Homestead YouTube stream.
Yes, any SAC doubleheader, always fun. Should be no different this Friday. The boys' game going to be primetime basketball here in the 260.
And that will do it for us here from Homestead High School. Once again, your final score tonight, Homestead 77, Northfield 41. Thank you for watching. We'll see you back here on Friday night for the SAC doubleheader against Snyder. For Johnny Harmon, I'm Ashton Ackman signing off from Homestead High School.